Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us for tonight's conversation. Um, my name is Grace Marie Lewis. I will be your host this evening. I'm joined today by Jasmine Alvarez from Pretty Well Beauty. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and um so excited for our conversation. Um, so yeah, let's dive in. Let's first tell us about yourself and about Pretty Well Beauty.
Sure. So my name is Jasmine Alvarez. I'm based here in New York City. I'm the founder of Pretty Well Beauty, which is a multi-brand clean beauty and wellness retail business. We are home to a little over 50 different 100% non-toxic and effective brands across the board, from skincare to hair care, makeup, bath and body, natural fragrances, natural deodorants, and a whole suite of wellness essentials that you can incorporate into your daily routine. I started my company a little over 5 years ago. We just celebrated 5 years this January. We started off online with our website, thank you, and then we opened up our first brick and mortar inside of the Oculus near the World Trade Center here in New York, about almost a year and a half ago, I want to say. And clean beauty is my passion. Like living well is something that is a passion of mine. And the reason why I started my company was because I didn't see a store that existed that aligned with the values and my extremely um, non-compromising values when it comes to formulations and ingredients, and also just effectiveness. So I decided to create it, and so it's been a very interesting experience. I've met a lot of really incredible people along the way, and I've been able to help a lot of different women through different stages of their lives. And so to me, that's my greatest honor, to be able to serve people and help make things a little bit easier for them during this process, because I didn't have anybody to hold my hand that I wish I had. So I had to learn this all myself.
I appreciate it for one, and I work near your store. It is amazing. It's like being a kid in a candy shop for so many wonderful items. I also don't know if I realized that you were 5 years old. I wish I'd known, because that lines up exactly with when I was first pregnant with my twins. So for tonight's purposes, I am here as a mom of 4-year-old twins who um, I'd worked so hard to create them that as soon as I found out I was pregnant, then learned, oh, I need to change my beauty habits. So I dumped everything out, started fresh, and it um, really would have been great to have connected then. But I am glad that you are here and we are here for folks going through this process now.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful time in any woman's life. So um definitely want to make sure you're doing all the best things you could possibly do to ensure that your safety and the safety of your soon to be children.
Yes. So let's dive into that. Why should birthing parents switch to clean products? I mean, everyone should, but why in particular should they switch during pregnancy and breastfeeding?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like you said, everyone should. There's so many benefits to doing that, but particularly it's important when you are pregnant and breastfeeding, because everything that you're putting on your skin, about 60% of that is getting absorbed into your bloodstream, and that is going to baby. And that's going through your breast milk when you're breastfeeding as well. So you want to be hyper conscious of avoiding products that can potentially harm not only you, but also this young new life that is still developing.
Wow, 60%. That's incredible. Um, I know it's easy though to think, we hear the term greenwashing, and so it's hard to know if we say clean beauty, what does that mean?
Yeah, greenwashing is a very big thing within this space. And unfortunately, there is no universal or federally mandated, right, definition of what clean beauty actually means. So, which actually makes it even more of a challenge for most people, because every brand, every retailer, every individual has their own standard and definition for it. So for me, what I noticed was I saw what other brands and how they were sort of deciding what clean is, and I felt that that was very confusing. There was a lot of mixed messaging there. There was a lot of inconsistency. So I decided to sort of draw the line in the sand, and really I spent a lot of years researching brands to find the ones that are really just going above and beyond just your table stakes of clean. So for me, clean beauty is very simple. It's really just a product that's been formulated with ingredients that are free from any ingredients that have ever been even suspected of being harmful for human health as well as for the environment. People say, oh, if you can't pronounce it, then you shouldn't put it on your skin, but that's not necessarily the case either. There's a lot of products, most ingredient labels they use the Latin root word of the ingredients. And so most of us can't pronounce them, but they are totally safe and natural. Um, and then also, I also want to share that not everything that is synthetic is necessarily unsafe. There are some safe synthetics there. You just have to know which ones there are and the differences between the ones that you should avoid and the ones that are totally fine. So yeah, in a nutshell, clean beauty is just any product that you put on your skin or your hair, that's free of any ingredients that can cause potential harm to you.
I love that, like this simple, elegant framing.
It's not a big mysterious thing.
Right? Um, so let's on the flip side, does it really matter? So you said earlier that our bodies absorb 60% of what we put on our skin. So then that really does mean that it's almost as if I'm eating those
Yeah.
same chemicals and they're going to baby.
Yeah, our skin is our largest organ, as we all know, and there's several layers to it. However, beauty products are not just skin deep, or they're not just superficial. They do actually absorb and they can go into our bloodstream. Like I said, about 60, up to 60% of that can go in. And when you think about the amount of products that women use on an average daily basis, the average woman uses on a daily basis about 14 different products every single day. So each time you're putting a product on your skin, that is an opportunity to be either introducing something to you that could be potentially harmful or something that could be beneficial for you. And I don't want to use scare tactics. That's not something that I believe in. I believe that our responsibility is just to inform and give the information so that you can make the best choice for you, given your circumstances and the knowledge that you have. So yeah, it does matter. It absolutely matters because it is cumulative over time. It's almost like saying, okay, if I eat this McDonald's cheeseburger one time, is it going to kill me? Probably not. But if I'm eating 14 of them every single day, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a great visualization. Okay, so I'm making the decision. I'm going to switch. Do I need to switch everything all at once? Do I just go to my medicine cabinet and just sweep it all over? Or can I start with some parts of my beauty regimen where it matters more than others?
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic for most people to be able to do that. It's not economical for most people either. And also, you don't know what's going to work for you yet. So I say start with the things that are the most potentially hazardous, like, for example, aluminum and antiperspirants. That would be the number one thing that I would recommend transitioning away from and opting for a natural, safe, non-toxic deodorant. I would also say lipsticks, conventional lipsticks, most of them contain lead in them. And this is a funny thing. Lead is actually a natural element, but it's extremely toxic for human consumption. And a lot of big cosmetic brands use small traces amounts of lead in their lipsticks. And every time we're using lipstick, we're eating it. The average woman eats over the course of our lifetime, I think 1,400 pounds of lipstick. Which is crazy. So lipstick is one I would definitely change. And then, when we're going into the things that are spending more time on our skin, that are spending the longest amount of its time. So we're talking like your serums, your moisturizers, if you wear foundations, things of that nature, things that are going to just wash off in like 30 seconds, like a facial cleanser or a body wash. That doesn't have to be the first thing that goes. It still needs to go eventually, but finish it up and then swap it with something that's safer.
Okay, so we don't have to do it all at once, and that was look me. My next thought was maybe we take it a little like one by one. Like you said, the skin is the body's largest organ, so let's kind of talk about skincare. So soap, finish the bottle of body wash that you have right now, and then switch to something that's clean since it's not washed off. But lotion that's rubbing in, it's staying on you.
Yes,
Make that change now.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. What about my hair care? So like I'm assuming that, hairspray, I'm inhaling that. So
Yes, you
I
are.
want to want to think about that sooner than, something that maybe is going on my ends versus something that's going on my scalp.
Yeah, I mean, our scalp is quite porous. The pores on our scalps are much larger than the pores on the rest of our body. So you definitely want to be mindful about things like that are going on your scalps, like scalp oils, serums, shampoos, things of that nature. if you're using something on your ends, what are you using to apply that with? Your hair, right?
Ah,
That skin
did
on your
not even
hands.
think about that.
Yeah. But thankfully, there's so many options on the market now that you don't like, you're not stuck with just whatever is at your local drugstore or even at your prestige department store that's promising the sun, moon, and stars. There's options that are 100% plant-based that are natural that you can use on your ends to eliminate frizz and give you that shine and that everybody loves.
Okay. And what about braids? One of my biggest regrets is not getting braids while I was pregnant or when the twins were little. I didn't discover them till they were 3, and it was life-changing. Um, do I need to find better options for braiding hair, or can I just use what the braiding salon has?
Absolutely not. Have you ever seen how braiding hair is actually made?
No, I haven't.
It's actually really disturbing. It's a byproduct of the petrol industry. It's literally just it's plastic. And when you are putting, that's why a lot of women who use synthetic hair when their braids get scalp irritations, they get, all kinds of scalp issues from irritation to even baldness. It's because there's a lot of chemicals, including formaldehydes and things that are releasing formaldehydes, and that's touching your scalp, which is, like I mentioned, it's the most porous part of our bodies. But there are some really great, I mean, I know human hair is very expensive. If you can afford to do human hair, I would recommend doing that. But then there's a lot of really great brands that have popped up on the market recently that are making really safe synthetic hair options they're affordable and they're not going to cause you any damage. I mean, like banana fiber, which is
Yeah.
like a really sustainable way to be able to repurpose something that would normally get discarded. I think there's a company called Rebundle that makes really good options, but there's so many. If you literally Google like non-toxic braiding hair, there's at least half a dozen options available to us now.
Yeah, I ran into exactly what you're talking about. There's one time I was rushing and didn't have a chance to do the apple cider rinse on the braiding hair and immediately felt it and felt the itching and could not figure out why it felt worse than usual. Went to Dr. Google, told me what it was. I did the rinse and it was terrifying. Immediately switched to uh, one of the brands that makes a collagen based
Hmm.
synthetic braiding hair, and it will be hard pressed to switch back because
And
it
you don't
was
have to do any of that prep that you have to do with
no,
the other
yeah,
hair. Yeah, you can just go ahead and
exactly,
start using it. Yeah. So it's saving
yeah,
you time and it's not breaking the bank either.
no, definitely more expensive, less than human hair,
Mhm.
and felt really good for the time that it was on as well.
Yeah. Every summer I say I'm gonna get braids and I just never do.
The time
I just don't have the
investment is
time
hard. You have
the
to
time
think about,
investment.
okay, I'm gonna sit
Yeah,
down for this many hours and let them do it. But the time that you get back in the morning is pretty amazing.
I know. Especially you have two little ones too. I can't even imagine.
Um, so moving to makeup. So like you said, foundation, since that's on your skin, lipstick. Although I've seen the amount of lip balm that my kids will literally eat. I never thought that I was basically matching them. So, um, but what about other things like a brow pencil or mascara? Where did those kind of fall in the kind of urgency to make the change?
Yeah, I would classify them as pretty, top of the list because
Okay.
you're wearing it all day. It's not like I mentioned before, you're not having it touching your person for less than a minute. It's something that your skin is wearing the whole day, and then of course, hopefully you're taking it off properly at nighttime. But yeah, the same rule applies whether it's a facial moisturizer or an eyebrow pencil. But like I said, thankfully, like clean beauty has come a very, very long way, particularly in the makeup space. makeup is one of those categories that were really hard to get right in terms of just like the pigmentation, like the richness of them and the staying power and the shade range options. That's all been addressed now, thankfully. Like there's been big leaps and strides made in that area. So you can still get all of your pencils, your foundations, your concealers, your mascaras that are 100% natural and safe, and they're going to perform just as well as the things that you're used to using.
I can back you up the leaps and bounds that this part of the industry has made, and even 4 or 5 years that
Mhm.
in 2019, I remember around this time sitting in the chair at Sephora and there being like one option for a clean foundation that had even a prayer of being in my skin tone.
Yeah, or even
And
your skin tone, and like, what is it doing for your undertone, or
right.
how's it gonna look when you hit natural light outside? So all of these things take into consideration, especially for women of color too, because it's another nuance to get into. But
Yeah.
no, there's so many options now.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see the number of brands run by women of color,
Mhm.
as well, that it's been inspiring to be able to maintain that change over the years, or
Yeah.
I'll admit, change back. But
And honestly, makeup and hair care are the two categories that are the hardest in the clean beauty space to make not only clean but effective. So when you find something that works for you in the clean space, it is it is so satisfying.
it really is.
Yeah.
So this is where I think we might have some challenges with some of our attendees. Just looking at our prep notes is nails.
Yeah.
So
Nails is
my
really heal for a lot of people.
yes,
And yeah.
that was my treat when I was pregnant, was just the regular mani-pedi, and um being able, even though I couldn't see my feet, to know that somewhere down there they were bright pink. Um, So let's talk about, being at the nail salon. It's this, even just being at the salon. I'm in New York. I was able to find a non-toxic salon. Um, is that's something I'm assuming that moms should, or birthing parents should be seeking out? Is a salon that says themselves that the salon is committed to being non-toxic.
So I actually wrote a blog about this a few years ago. Is there such thing as non-toxic nail polish? No, no, there is not. I'm sorry. Nail polish is a byproduct of the car painting industry. And at the end of the day, it's still a varnish, even if they make claims like it's 9 free, 10 free, 15 free. That just means that it is free of the most egregious ingredients. Doesn't mean that that it's non-toxic. And all this cruelty-free vegan, that doesn't mean that it's clean either. That just means it wasn't tested on animals. That's it. Um,
Mm.
so I mean, if it's something that you absolutely cannot live without, go to a place that uses non-toxic. Go to like one of those places that make those claims. But I would just get like, get the soak and the buff and the massage and the filing and all that stuff, but don't get the nail polish. Just get them clean. And I haven't worn nail polish in over 5 years. And I used to love going to the nail salon too. It was such a nice treat. But when I realized just how toxic these ingredients are, and also just the fumes in nail salons that you're inhaling, whether you're pregnant or not, are really, really bad for your brain, really bad for your nervous system, obviously terrible for your respiratory system. Um, and for me, I made the personal decision, and that just wasn't worth it for me to do that. So I sacrificed wearing nail polish, but I keep my nails clean and polished, and in terms of like, buffing and shaped, and try to keep my cuticles nice and clean and all that stuff. I don't get the pretty sparkly fun colors and stuff but that's the sacrifice that I'm willing to make for my health. Everyone has to do what's right for them. If that's your one vice, then let that be your one vice and do everything else well. Like one of my best friends, Chrissy, I don't even try to talk to her about it. I know it's a losing battle. She's never gonna give it up. And so for me, it's like I'm gonna choose my battles, but everything else she does is 100% clean and non-toxic. I'm like, okay, it's fine. So it's very hard to be an all or nothing person in this modern world that we live in. And for me, I mean, I'm kind of a different case. I'm kind of an extremist. I truly am an all or nothing type of person, but I'm not saying that everyone else has to be like that. But pick your battles. I would say just pick one that you just absolutely cannot sacrifice, and whatever that is. But there are some things you shouldn't be doing, obviously, but
And so we have a question. So nail varnish, product of car painting. What about an extension or um, a gel or a press-on?
So there are some press-ons, like the little stickers. I think those could be fun. I don't know what the lasting power are, but I feel like out of all the options, those are probably the safest. Um, those LED lights that you put your hands under for gel, those are linked to skin cancers, melanoma. That's not something that I would recommend anybody do, whether you're pregnant or not. It's not worth the risk. And then the nail extensions, like the glue that they have to use to glue the nail onto your nail bed it's full of chemicals. I'm sorry, Grace. I see you're heartbreaking.
So it's not an all or nothing, something to just food for thought.
Um,
I might have to nibble on it very slowly. Um,
Maybe you don't do it as frequently as you're used to. Maybe you do it for special occasions, and then the rest of the time you just keep your nails clean and, filed.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's a good kind of pivot to think about, you know, it's hard to be all or nothing. And I'm sure there's someone watching or listening that's a little skeptical. Um, there's the things, of course, that your OBGYN are going to tell you, like you absolutely have to not do. So no retinols, no Botox, put those
Mhm.
away for till you're done. Um, what else, you know, what ingredients are the biggest risk and should be avoided kind of no matter what?
Yeah, I would say formaldehydes, aluminums, parabens, phenoxethanol, especially if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant, you definitely want to stay away from phenoxethanol. Um,
That's quite a word.
Phenoxethanol, it's a synthetic preservative. And it's kind of a tricky one because for a long time it was actually considered pretty safe until about, I want to say 6 years ago, give or take, when it was linked to delayed fertility in women as well as neurotoxicity. And that ingredient still shows up today in clean beauty brands, unfortunately. So if you see that, definitely stay away from it. Synthetic fragrance is also a huge one. Synthetic fragrance is a tricky one because it's not just one single ingredient. Synthetic fragrance is comprised of anywhere from a dozen to thousands of ingredients to mimic a scent that doesn't actually exist in nature, or maybe it does. And those are linked to anything from hormone disruption, endocrine disruption, um, of course, allergies, all kinds of things that you don't want to introduce into your body, especially if you are pregnant or you're trying to get pregnant, because of its effect on our hormones and our reproductive systems. And then I would also say, like, any artificial dyes and colors. First of all, those are completely useless. They offer no beneficial value other than making the product look prettier. Like if it's like this fun color, it's
Yes.
probably fake, and it's not serving you in any way, shape, or form. So I would stay away from those because synthetic dyes and synthetic like artificial colors are typically made from a lot of similar to like fragrances. They're kind of made from like iron, like heavy metals that can go into the body that can cause liver damage, or they're through like cruel methods by taking them from like the ecoskeletons of beetles, like carmine, for example. Yeah.
Wow. For those of you who want to, screenshot the list of what you should be looking for or looking to avoid, I did put these chemicals in the chat, so you have the spelling of them and everything close at hand. So
Also, one
let's,
other thing
yeah.
I'll state, on our website, we have the aware list, which is a list of all the ingredients that I recommend anybody to avoid as well. That's a really great resource too. And it tells you what that ingredient is, what it's commonly found in, what it's used for, and what their health hazards are. So when you go to prettywellbeauty.com, you scroll all the way to the bottom of the website, you'll see in the footer the aware list, and you can click on that and you can just take a screenshot of that or download it. And that's a really good resource to have handy as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Um, Perhaps our magical person behind the scenes can put that link up as well.
Yes.
Um, and while that happens, let's maybe talk about it on a fun sense. So I like to say that I had a wonderful pregnancy. I had nothing significant wrong, but I had every minor annoyance and uncomfortable thing that could possibly happen. So I have pulled from I think Mayo Clinic, the top 10 body changes and discomforts experienced in pregnancy and postpartum. And just thought we could talk about maybe some of the either products or ingredients to look for that can address those challenges.
Yeah.
So the first is melasma or pregnancy mask, the brown patches that happen on the face, around the cheeks, the nose, the forehead, just these blotchy moments of hyperpigmentation that don't go away after baby comes.
Yes. Yeah, melasma is very common. Yeah, most derms will tell you to take hydroquinone, which is very toxic. But fortunately, there are really great ingredients like arbutin and conjugic acid, which is a very gentle, safe natural acid. Um, Vitamin C. There's a lot of really great ingredients that you can use to help reverse that and also to reduce it as well, and hopefully even prevent it too if you're using it before you get pregnant.
That's what I was going to ask. Vitamin C, I know that's always it seems like it's the easy solution as the terms of natural. So it is something want to look at the rest of the
Yeah,
ingredients, but
you want to get a very stable form of vitamin C. Not all vitamin C's are created or equally. So vitamin C is very sensitive to light and air. So if you're buying a vitamin C product, make sure it comes in a dark glass bottle. Nothing that's with clear glass at all.
oh, good tip. Let's talk about acne. This was not one that hit me, but I've had friends who did not have the glow, so to speak. Um, you can't use retinoids. What
Mm-mm.
can you use during pregnancy for acne?
So there's a couple of really great ingredients. So like willow bark is like nature's salicylic acid.
Ooh,
So that's a really great one. And then bakuchiol, which is like basically nature's version of retinol, does all the same things as retinol does with anti-aging, anti-acne, but completely safe for pregnancy, completely safe if you're not pregnant. It's 100% plant-based. And this is like one of my favorite ingredients.
oh, fantastic. Um, this is another one for dark spots, but instead of it being on your face, the rest of your body, it's on your breast, your nipples, your inner thighs.
Mhm.
Um, what can we do for that?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of treat it similarly to how you treat that on your face as well, because it's still your skin. I would probably focus those treatments probably twice a day though, morning and night. And then also just really focusing on moisture because if your skin is dehydrated or dry, any sort of pigmentation is just going to worsen and it's going to be harder to correct. Dry skin is always going to be the hardest to resolve. So you want to make sure your skin stays nice and moisturized. Exfoliating is great. You can do a manual exfoliation with like coffee grounds. Coffee is great for also helping to boost stimulation of the lymphatic system, while also very gently removing that layer of dead skin. And just keeping your skin protected. If you're exposing skin at like outside in the sun, say it's summertime and you got a big full belly and you're just wanting to wear as least as possible because you want to be comfortable, make sure you're using sun protection as well, because the sun will create more issues with darkening the spots that you're trying to address.
Great. What about stretch marks?
I mean, stretch marks, unfortunately, is just, it's not one of those things that you know if you're going to get or not. It's genetics play a lot into that. But there are some things that you can do to help minimize them. There is a lot of products on the market that help with helping you to increase your collagen and elastin production in your skin. One of our brands at Pretty Well Beauty called Matrescence, that's all they specialize in. They make only products specifically for motherhood and beyond. And their body care products boost collagen and elastin in the skin to help prevent stretch marks. Dry brushing is great as well. Yeah, and you can do that every single day if you would like to. But and then also keeping your skin hydrated inside and out. Lots of hydration, good quality water. You want to keep your skin as plump and hydrated and moisturized as possible to minimize the stretching while the skin is growing and stretching out. But genetics do play a big role in that.
So wait a minute. You can dry brush every day?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Um, Another one is increased facial and body hair. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's kind of old-fashioned tweezers or
I
waxing,
mean,
sugaring, but
you can do that. You could do laser. You just want to make sure you're being very diligent with your sun protection as well. Laser is pregnancy safe. Yeah, that's also that's a hormonal shift. I mean, that's very normal with pregnancy and postpartum. You're gonna get some little hair sprouting in places that you were not expecting, that you're not appreciating. But it's temporary, like it's not forever. And in the meantime, you can do laser, you can do waxing. I just wouldn't do anything that's too harsh. Like any sort of like red light type of stuff. Like that's not going to be good for you.
okay. What about pops? So this was my bane of my existence. That's so or other itching. So of course you're going to first talk to your doctor and confirm that it's not cholestasis, which is really scary and bad. Once you know that the itchy welts over your body are not something bad, what can you do to be less itchy?
Yeah, you can do oatmeal baths. Oatmeal baths are really good for calming that irritation. Cool to cold showers, ice packs as well, cold compresses on the body and the skin. Um, Minimizing stress as well, which I know is probably not always the easiest. But yeah, those are some really easy solutions that you can do at home that won't cost you much at all, if anything.
Yeah. And cold compresses are going to come back again. So swelling and aches. I was a balloon. Um, and
Yeah.
I do have to say, I found these great socks that have you can put ice packs into the sock. So that will be my little trick or secret hint is finding those socks. And
Yeah, those compress cold socks, cold compress, that's a really good idea. You could also soak your feet in magnesium as well. That'll help reduce the swelling. Sleeping or laying down when you're reclining, like having your feet elevated, that'll also help with swelling too. And then of course, reducing um, stress too. You could also have green tea because green tea, the caffeine that's in it is not obviously as much as coffee, but green tea is naturally helping to reduce swelling as well. You can even
Okay.
do um I think there's like some you can even make like a DIY compress using like things that have high caffeine in it and like place it on your ankles and any place that you're swollen because caffeine is naturally constricts as well.
Oh, how I mean, we're done, but um
But you can pass it on to, you
yes,
know, your girlfriends.
definitely. And then postpartum hair loss. So, it's going to happen.
Mhm.
Um, 3 to 4 months, it's just gonna the cycle's gonna run and then it's all gonna fall out. How can you at least feel less panicked about it as it's happening?
Well, stress, this is a recurring theme. Like there's a lot of it's a very stressful thing, trying to manage your stress levels as much as possible to help minimizing the shed. Um, Low manipulation with your hair as much as possible, to try and retain as much of the hair that you have. And also just it is temporary, like your hair will grow back. You can also introduce stimulating scalp massages as well
Ooh,
using hair oil, obviously a natural blend, no nothing with any
mm,
toxic ingredients in it. And yeah, I would say also hydration. When our bodies are properly hydrated, are the follicles that our hair grows from are going to also benefit as well.
um, great. And then the last is just like fatigue and just the general like self-care, just buzzword, but I've been exhausted for the last 5 years. So what are some kind of quick ways to recharge?
I would say I would make an appointment with yourself and make sure everyone in the family is on board, like whatever the cadence is that makes sense for you. Like say your husband, you tell him like, listen, I need the hours of 2 to 3 every Tuesday where nobody talks to me. And you just go into a room and you do whatever makes you feel good, whether it's meditation, doing some light yoga stretches, um, looking at TikTok, whatever is it that is that self-care to you, taking a hot bath, going for a walk, chatting with the girlfriend on the phone, just trying. It's important to carve out time for yourself to really just do the things that make you feel cared for and undisturbed, so that you can recharge your battery so you can go back to your life with your little humans.
Um, so I want to open, the floor's been open for questions, but please feel free to put questions either in the chat or in the Q&A. While those are coming in, um, you know, your baby comes. Are there any things in particular that parents, particularly with the little ones, should be thinking about for taking care of their precious little skin and their little hair and all of that? But great, sweet stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love newborn babies. Yeah, their skin is very, very sensitive. So you want to, obviously focus on keeping their skin nice and moisturized. Don't let it get dried out. So babies are not getting dirty. So they don't have to be bathed every single day when they're newborns. I would say every couple of days or whatever your pediatrician recommends, I would follow. And then making sure you're using very, very gentle, mild cleansers for baby on their skin and their hair. And it's a really great time to introduce very calming, soothing body massage for baby too, to help with their joints and their muscles and their reflexes as well. And it's a great time for bonding moments with mom and baby when they're newborns too. You could also there's oils that are really great for the top of their skull, top of their head.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I knew where you were going. Both of mine had
yeah,
a little bit of cradle cap, and
yeah, cradle cap.
oil
So
is so
it's
gets
so
rid of
good
it so
for
quickly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If sometimes little babies can have little mild skin irritations like eczema too. So Like we carry a lot of really great baby products that help address that. Like we have this really great baby bath tea. It's literally like a tea bag full of like very hydrating, nutritious ingredients. You just pop in the baby's bath water. They can sit in there and soak, and you can bathe the baby with that. And it helps with irritation. And I would also say avoid lavender with babies and children in general, because that, especially boys, because it can increase estrogen in boys particularly. So if anyone has little boys, do not use anything with lavender in it whatsoever.
I wonder if that's what my son can sense because he does call the lavender lotion the stinky lotion.
Oh,
And and
you like the smell of lavender. I love the smell of lavender. But you don't want to give that to kids just yet.
ah, um, so we do have one question here about for graying eyebrows, um, or even if you're like me and they're quite thin, is there any product that you recommend for tinting or filling in?
Yeah, one of our brands that we carry called Ede Perez, they have this, it's called the Argan Brow Hero. And it's literally like, it's a product that you can brush on, almost like little feather-like strokes, and it fills in your eyebrows. I actually have it on right now. And then you can go in with the pencil just to like define the shape that you want after you go in with the Brow Hero. And the Brow Hero also sets, so your brows don't move throughout the day
Hmm.
either. So they're done.
I will be in next week to try that out.
Yeah, it's so
Um,
I need to re-up on mine too. I have very thin, sparse brows too. I'm a victim of over tweezing in the 90s.
I
So
the kids these days do not understand.
they don't, they really don't. And apparently the thin brow look was supposed to be coming with, I came back in for a hot second. I was like, please no. No.
So we're getting a note, laser hair, not recommended when pregnant. Please, if you're considering it, chat with your dermatologist or your OBGYN.
Yeah.
Um, um, looking to see if there are other questions. Um, so we talked about like bitty babies. What about when baby gets older? So like my 4-year-olds who, um, I, you know, I feel like we go through a ton of bubble bath every week. It's so easy for them to be attracted or for us to be attracted to the things that you can add to the bath to make it colorful or this or that. Um, should I be as worried about those as I kind of am? I'm going to take advantage of this time.
Yeah, those things have synthetic coloring in them, so I wouldn't use those. Yeah, they're fun. Like you want to your kids, you want them to be excited about bath time, but maybe there's another way that you can do that.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Um,
like toys or
the,
obviously the bubbles are fun. So yeah, I
uh,
wouldn't any of those color fuzzy foaming like
the things,
fishy bath
yes,
bombs
yeah.
and no.
One question that came in is baby powder.
Mm.
Um, I have certainly seen so much about talc, and now there's talc-free powders. Should we?
So,
It's hard to trust something.
it is hard to trust things. I'm sure you guys all know about the talc with um and all the issues with like Johnson and Johnson and their connection with asbestos. So um yeah, talc can be safe. It really just depends on how it's treated. And unfortunately, like when you're buying things that are mass produced in order for them to be able to meet their margins and their financial bottom lines, they do cut these corners to make it cheaper for the consumer so that they can sell more of it. So um I would avoid buying talc from any companies that are like making mass produced products, which is unfortunately like most baby brands. Um, And I wish that I could tell you that I had a recommendation for a safe one, but unfortunately, I haven't found one.
Mhm. What about I've seen the like cream, talc free, but it's like a cream to powder that still has the drying, but um is talc free and it also avoids the mess of powder. Um, would those have similar concerns or?
I like that idea of it. I would have to see the ingredient list to know if it's something that I would consider safe or something that I would be concerned about using. If you have a product in mind, if you want, you can send it to me and I can take a look at the ingredient list and tell you.
Okay, I will do that. And um, um, actually, I'll chat it over to you. Um, um, in the meantime, too. So, um, so I just while you're taking a look at that, I will call attention to magical wizard behind the curtain has put the awareness list into the chat, as well as one of her favorite products from Pretty Well Beauty. So that is a really looks like a really great vitamin C serum. So um, take a moment and check those out in the chat. We have a few minutes left in our conversation, so if you do have questions, um, um, please put those in to the chat or the Q&A. I also want to call out that we spoke briefly about hair today, but if you want to talk more or learn more about hair during pregnancy, there is another session about that. Um, looks like the link though is it's not working, so if we could drop that link in the chat as well. Um, there is a discount code to shop Pretty Well Beauty. We will link that again in the chat. Um, and it is BMH24 for 10% off. Um, and Jasmine, when is the expiration date for that code?
I think it's until the end of this month.
Okay, till the end of April.
Yeah, so you
So,
have to. And I just took a look at this product you sent me
mhm,
and it looks perfectly fine.
okay. So, I will say the folks, the product that I shared is the Pipette cream to powder talc-free baby powder. Um, and I did not use it on the twins, but I have used it myself in the summertime when things that rub that you don't want to rub are rubbing in the city heat, and it's been a helpful product for then. Um, someone mentioned cornstarch, which is certainly um, natural. Um, the product is the Pipette baby cream to powder talc-free baby powder.
It's a very mouthful.
That's a lot of words. I will put it in the chat.
That is a
Um,
mouthful for naming a product.
yes. Um, well, as we're wrapping up, Jasmine, thank you so much for your time today and for this conversation and for starting a business that can be here for all of us who are journeying to make better choices, and especially birthing parents. Um, if we want to kind of just wrap up and choose some of the key takeaways. So, um, reiterating from the top, birthing parents should choose clean products
Because they're safe and they're not going to cause you any harm for your health or the environment. And you can rest easy knowing that you are not putting any risk to yourself or your child.
And no matter what, even if you decide, okay, this is a bunch of hooey, too much hoo-ha,
Mhm.
we're or and we're gonna I'm not ready to give, throw everything away. We want to avoid synthetic fragrances,
Yes, synthetic.
formaldehyde,
Mhm.
hydroquinone, aluminum, artificial dyes and colors, parabens, and I'm going to try to say this one, phena phenox
It's a hard one.
uh phenox phenoxethanol.
Close enough. Phenoxy.
Okay. Um, and there are clean products and solutions to common issues that you are feeling, that you're experiencing during pregnancy or in postpartum. Um, I should have brought up breastfeeding because breastfeeding is a terribly uncomfortable moment.
Oh,
Um, but there are options, and Pretty Well Beauty is a great resource for those products. Jasmine has generously offered 10% off through the end of the month. We will share the code. Um, Anything that we missed that you want to share as we wrap up, Jasmine?
I just shared, Stacy asked for the link for the beauty products to use during pregnancy. So the brand that I'd mentioned that creates products specifically for motherhood and postpartum. I just popped that in the chat. So you can take a look at that, Stacy, and everyone else that's interested in learning more about matrescence as well.
These bottles are beautiful too.
Yeah, very. These are the products that she wished that she had been gifted when she was pregnant.
I I I agree with her wholeheartedly.
And the body scrub, I've never been pregnant, but I use these products. That body scrub is probably one of my absolute favorite. It literally smells like brownie batter
Ooh.
and it's 100% natural. There's cacao in there, which is why it smells like chocolate.
Uh,
Oh, someone said they don't see the link. Says my baby is 41 and I love the body scrub. You're so funny. Wow, you're 41, Grace?
yes.
Wow, you look so young. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Um, a lot of vitamin C products and
Yeah.
azelaic acid, which
Yes.
was the my convert in pregnancy was changing to that. And
Good. Well, it
yeah,
paid off.
thank you. These kids are aging me very quickly.
No, I don't think they are. You literally look like you're 25 years old.
Oh, you're sweet. Um, well, we do have 3 minutes, and I'm realizing that I did neglect breastfeeding. I think there was a question at the start, or maybe towards the middle. Really, everything that's happening that we talked about pregnancy going through the bloodstream, ditto through breastfeeding as well.
Yes.
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 So at least while you're breastfeeding, you'll want to follow the same processes if you changed over as you did during pregnancy. Um, do you have any favorite products for you know all of the changes that happen to your breast while you're breastfeeding?
Hmm.
Any creams or that
Yeah,
sort
we
of
have
thing?
one of our brands called Zoe Organics. They make a really amazing nipple balm. So that's really great for like helping to address the cracked nipples, the dry nipple. And one of my customers also uses it as a lip balm too, because it has a similar texture to a lip balm. And it's made with 100% organic ingredients. There's like maybe 7 ingredients in it total. So it's super, super safe to be used for nipples for when you're breastfeeding and then you can continue using it as a lip balm.
Um,
There's multiple
I will.
purposes.
Yeah, I mean. the things that happen. I'm going to pop that in the chat as well for Zoe Organics. Um, and it looks like this brand also has some great products for baby as well as for parents.
Yeah, Zoe Organics makes products for the whole family. So there's products that are specifically for baby, there's products specifically for mom, and then there's products that the whole family can use. Like, for example, there's an insect repellent that's 100% all natural. Everyone in the family can use it. There's a cream, everyone can use that cream. There's the everything balm, which is literally like a balm stick that you can put on anywhere. You can put on your lips, you can put on dry patches, cuticles. So anyone in the family can use that. But then for baby,
Oh,
there's like baby oils, there's diaper balm, diaper, yeah, diaper balms. There's also baby bath washes. There's a baby bath tea that I've mentioned as well. And then for mommy, there's the belly oil, there's a belly butter to help with the skin while it's growing and stretching. And of course, you know, your nipple balm too. So yeah, there's a little something for everyone in the family, and everything is super affordable too. I don't think there's anything over $25.
and that it's incredible. Oh, this tea looks so fun.
It's so cute.
Um, I have a few colleagues who are expecting, and now I know some treats that we'll have to all go in together to get for them.
Yeah, there's a pregnancy kit and there's a um baby kit as well. So the baby kit, it comes pre like a cute little tote bag. And the baby one has the baby wash, it has the diaper balm and the baby oil, all full sizes. And then the pregnancy kit has the nipple, I'm sorry, it has the belly butter, the belly oil, and the refresh oil, which is like an essential oil blend. That's really great for moms if they're feeling nauseous or they need like a boost of energy. Because there's like peppermint in there. It's beautiful. I like it even just how it smells just in general. So it's a really great gift for moms who are expecting.
It sounds like a I'll have to think about who I like the most and, and pick that up for them. Um, well, Jasmine, thank you so much. It's been great chatting with you. I've learned a lot, and that I can't wait to pass on to the expecting parents in my life, or even to use, even though I've got my little ones. Um, thank you everyone for joining us today. There are continues to be sessions throughout this week, next week. So please join Safer Birth Now and Birthing the Magic to continue your learning.
Thank you. This was
Thank
great. I
you.
really enjoyed it. And if anybody wants to reach out, you can just send a message to me, hello@prettywellbeauty.com. If you need any additional recommendations, if you wanted to say hi, or if you have any questions.
Thank you, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.